First of all, I never ever in my life planned to go into advertising. So what I was good at in school when I was a kid was drawing pictures. I mean, I could draw pictures better than most of the kids, and I could make them laugh because I like to draw really funny pictures. And the other thing I could do was write. You know, I could write well, I could draw well, and I started at a pretty young age putting that together and drawing cartoons. And I got introduced to Mad Magazine, which completely changed my worldview. And I knew when I was about 10 that what I was going to do when I grew up was be a cartoonist for Mad Magazine. Had that all figured out. Another thing that I discovered about myself is that I really enjoyed getting together with other creative people and building teams and putting stuff together. So my high school had your typical high school paper, which was really straight and not very interesting. And they asked me if I would do comics for that paper. And I said, well, how about instead of just me doing comics, I know a bunch of other cartoonists. What if I do a whole comics section for you? I'll edit the comics section and I'll deliver you a complete page with a whole bunch of different cartoonists on it. And that'll be way cooler than just me doing it. And so this coalition of cartoonists, we gave it an official name. We were the American Academy of Cartooning Buffoons, which is kind of like a comics guild. And that way we got to have our picture in the yearbook in the club section. I get to college, and they don't do comic strips in the campus paper, but they do editorial cartoons. And I thought, well, okay, you know, that'd be good practice for when I get my job at Mad. So I'll be an editorial cartoonist. I entered my work into national competition, and I took first place in the nation for college-level editorial cartoons. So I figured, well, this isn't that hard. So I had a chance to study with Paul Conrad. He was the Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist for the LA Times and really one of my heroes. And he had been one of the judges when I won this award. And I thought, all right, you know, so I met with him, I showed him my stuff, and he tells me, wow, yeah, this stuff's really good, you know. Have you ever thought about getting into advertising? My brother has an ad agency in Denver, and here's his card. And I thought, well, that's weird, you know, because I'm going to be a rock star cartoonist. But I was, you know, I figured that he was just kind of crazy. And so then I made it a point to go to Mad Magazine and go meet the editor there. And a lot of the other cartoonists, you know, when they would come out to the Comic Cons, I would go and I would meet them and I would tell them my dream. And without exception, every one of them said, have you ever thought about getting into advertising? You know, we're all kind of trying to get out of this. This cartooning thing is like really a lot of hard work, and you work by yourself all the time, and you don't get paid very well. We're all trying to get into advertising. So I figured, well, I guess I'm going into advertising. I hooked up with a buddy of mine that I'd gone to college with, and we started talking about opening our own agency. And I was 21 and he was 22. Both of us thought we were far too talented to need to work for anyone else, so we decided to open up our own shop. We moved into Hollywood and we called ourselves Good Graphics with an X because it was the 70s. And we opened up in 1977. So for sure, we really didn't have any idea what we were doing, but the good thing about that is that you're kind of willing to try anything. And so we did all kinds of different projects for small local clients. And the guy that had the studio next to us was Japanese, and he worked for a Japanese production company. And he introduced us to them saying, like, this is my friends John and Brad from Good Graphics. They're like all around utility designers. They can do anything for you. And they said, oh, great. Do you think you could silk screen some t-shirts for us? We need 100 of them in 3 days for a big shoot for Asahi beer. We said, sure, yeah, it's one of our specialties. But we left that meeting and we went straight to the art supply store and bought silk screens and bought equipment and bought a book on how to do it, because we really weren't sure how to do it, but we figured we'd just kind of make it up as we went. So we stayed up for 3 straight days. We delivered the shirts on time, and they said, well, listen, we're going to Florida. We're going to be doing this commercial out there, and you guys are just so all-American looking. Would you like to be in the commercial? Sure. Another one of our specialties was acting. So we go to Florida, we do this commercial out there. They end up putting me in front of the camera, delivering this line in Japanese, Asahi biru, wata no biru desu, which I don't really remember what that means, but they liked the way I did it. And so they asked me to stay on and do this whole campaign with them. And things just kind of have a way of magically presenting themselves when you're too dumb to know that you can't do it. Eventually, you know, it was probably time to get kind of a job in an ad agency and learn stuff like production art and stuff like that, because I really kind of skipped over all of that. And I got a job at a little agency in Orange County. It was my first Orange County job. And that agency was called Mueller and Emerson. And that was really the first like creative crew that I really got to really bond with and really learn a lot from. And my office mate, Bruce Mayo, was just like a big brother to me and taught me a lot about the business. So I was there for about 4 years, and then my old partner from Good Graphics, the agency that we had started, said, listen, I'm working for this production company in LA. We're doing like, they didn't call it branded entertainment in those days, but basically it was branded entertainment. New product launches, you know, big multimedia, multi-screen things, and you know, the clients were like Porsche and Yamaha motorcycles, and you know, here I was in Orange County working on all this weird high-tech stuff, and I said, yeah, okay, you know. And they said, and they asked me, you know, well, so have you ever designed and, you know, done staging and that kind of stuff? And I was like, yeah, no, I hadn't done that. But all of a sudden I was a show designer for a company called ImageStream. And they said, oh, you've worked on technology, cool, you can work on our new tech account. It's called Apple Computer. So I was working on Apple at the same time that John Sculley was brought in, when Jobs brought in John Sculley, and I was there when John Sculley threw Steve Jobs out of Apple Computer. And as soon as he got rid of Steve, he got rid of all of Steve's boys. So they fired Shite Day, they fired us at ImageStream, and all of a sudden there I was out of job. So I called my old buddy Bruce Mayo and I said, hey, I have a baby and I'm on unemployment. A day later he calls me up and he offers me some freelance, and I started working for Reiser Williams DeYoung in Irvine. So now I'm back in Orange County. And really it was at Reiser when I started working there where I really met Mike Wiseman, and we really started to develop the friendship that would last and last and last. And Reiser was a really good experience. It was a real interesting run, mostly because during the time that I was there, Reiser Williams DeYoung was acquired by NWA, which was one of the first ad agencies in America, and at that time one of the largest in America. And we got to pitch these pretty amazing accounts. Got to pitch Burger King, which we won. And we were thinking, oh man, we are going to be so rich, you know, because we helped the New York office pitch it, but they were going to move it out to our office. And then New York decided not to move Burger King out to Los Angeles. And instead they decided to close our office because they really didn't need an office in Irvine and one in LA and one in San Francisco, so they closed it down. I immediately ran down the hall to Mike Wiseman's office and I said, Mike, listen, I know that I've got that relationship down with Yamaha, and wherever I go, I know Yamaha's going to go. Why don't you and I start an agency together? We'll take Yamaha with us. And he said, yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just going to come talk to you about that. So that was really the beginning of DGWB. But as time went on, you know, different partners kind of come and go. And by 1995, Mike and Mandy Dawson and I bought out the last of our partners, and the three of us started running the agency. And we had a good 20-year run together, running DGWB until Mandy decided to retire. And now Mike and I have brought Jimmy Smith and Ed Collins in, and we changed our name to Amusement Park, which we think gives us an opportunity to do more than just advertising, but branded entertainment as well. Over the years, we've had a lot of really cool clients that we've had the opportunity to work on. And some have just kind of come and gone real quick, but mercifully, some of them have stuck around for a really long time. And one of my favorite clients that I've ever worked on is Wiener Schnitzel. So in 1999, the creative team that was working on Wiener Schnitzel came to me with this idea, and they said, hey, you know what would be really cool is why don't we create a cartoon character, like some kind of like a cartoon hot dog guy, to be like a mascot for Wiener Schnitzel. I was totally all in. I was super excited about it, and really the three of us sat down and we created this little running hot dog guy. America's Most Wanted Hot Dog, which we named him TDO, which stands for The Delicious One, And finally, you know, like professionally, I was making cartoons. When we started DGWB, we knew we wanted to be a creative-driven agency. And at the time, everybody said, well, if you guys want to be creative-driven, you got to open up in LA, because that's where all the creative stuff is being done. It's all in LA. And we said, you know, no, we don't believe that. We believe that anybody that wants to do great creative work, you just got to be committed to doing that. And you can do it anywhere. And so we determined that we were going to open up in Orange County. And we really dug in. I mean, eventually we bought the Santa Ana City Hall building, which was a dump. And we put a lot of creativity and a lot of love in it. And now we've got like a really cool headquarters. But our goal was never to be like the only creative agency in Orange County. What we had hoped is that if we worked really hard and tried to establish ourselves as a creative agency, that other agencies would follow, and that there would be more and more creative agencies in the county. And that's good for everybody, because the more creative people there are, the more creative clients are attracted to Orange County. So if I think about it, you know, where we were 30 years ago as a community and where we are now, I think maybe we made a difference.
I've known John for many, many years. In fact, I'm his first client. Love you. Have a great time.
John Gothold, Lifetime Achievement Award. Wow. Not only do I congratulate you, but all of China congratulates you. Yay!
Yay! Congratulations to my work husband. Really happy for you.
My favorite thing that I remember about working for you was the way that you would always make me feel really good when you would kill an idea. You had this way of basically making you feel really smart and creative, because you'd be like, wow, you know, you'd laugh, you'd be like, that's such a great idea. And then I'd say, oh, so we can present it? And you're like, no, the client would never go for that. That's a terrible idea. But good for you for thinking of it.
John, year after year, I don't know how you do it. Seriously? John, congratulations.
Our stories include animated hot dogs and suspected Russian spies and blood sausage and bourbon and brisket. And I just wanted to thank you so much for including me on so much of your journey.
It's great to see such an honorable, creative human being being honored. Congratulations, John, and thank you.
Congratulations, John. You taught me a lot. You helped me get where I am in life, and thanks.
Yeah, what he said. You're part of the reason I'm here, so you have to take part of the blame.
Congratulations, John. 100 years in the business. Hell of a thing.
Congratulations, John. You are truly one of a kind, and the world is better for it.
Your tremendous leadership has led me to living in a van down by the river. How the fuck did you win an award without LeBay?
Congratulations to John Gothold for a lifetime of great work.
Dad, who's John Gothold?
He's your real father.
Hey John, congratulations and thank you so much for this incredible journey together.